Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome to another new movie review. Today we're going to be talking about revenge. Before I get into that though, I want to welcome and thank Shane, aka Mormozine, for becoming a patron of mine. Thank you so much to Shane and all of my other creepy patron peeps for your support of my channel. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can follow that link in the description. Now onto the review and a summary of Revenge. Jen is enjoying a romantic getaway with her wealthy boyfriend until his two sleazy friends arrive for an unannounced hunting trip. As tension mounts in the house, the situation abruptly and viciously intensifies, culminating in a shocking act that leaves Jen left for dead. Unfortunately for her assailants, she survives and soon begins a relentless quest for bloody revenge. Alright, so as you probably have guessed from the summary, or if you've seen the trailer, this is a rape revenge film. And they did release a very interesting trailer, which Emma from Spooky Astronauts shared on Twitter, which it was a trailer for the movie, but it was centered around comments from social media like Facebook and Twitter and stuff about the movie from guys. So obviously they were, you know, misogynist comments that they had picked from the internet on their trailer or whatever it was. Which I thought was a very interesting marketing tactic. Yeah, and I feel like I wanted to talk about that because I feel like it set the tone for when I sat down to watch this movie, which I will get into with this review. So let's get into what I liked about Revenge. All right, so first and foremost, I am most likely gonna spoil some stuff in this movie, so I'm just gonna say that right out of the gate. The first thing I say is not gonna be a spoiler, but but I just want to get that out of the way right now. So if you don't want spoilers, don't watch the video. I'm not going to spoil the whole thing, but there are one or two things I'm going to talk about that are spoiler territory. I feel like a lot of rape revenge movies that I've seen, not all of them, but some of them, kind of play up this like random act of violence sort of thing. So like, for example, The Last House on the Left, how the two girls just happen to encounter their rapist when they're looking for weed or whatever before the concert they're going to. It's not like they don't know the people or anything like that, and they really do nothing to antagonize these people except encounter them, you know, that sort of like random act sort of thing. Same thing with I Spit on Your Grave. You know, the guys in that movie come up with an excuse like she was a tease. It's more kind of like she was alone in the cabin and that's really the only thing that she did to bring that on herself. So I like how Revenge kind of handled this. So basically what happens is, like I said in the summary, Jen is in this like very nice like house, which is like out in the middle of the desert somewhere. I'm not even sure where this is supposed to be set. And her boyfriend Richard's two friends show up for a hunting trip, and I think they make it known in the movie they're like a day early or something like that than they were supposed to get there. And she wasn't actually supposed to encounter them. She was supposed to leave, and then they were coming for this hunting trip or whatever. Show up early, and so that evening they were like partying, they're drinking and whatever. So I feel like they set it up in the movie that Jen makes a mistake. Like, she's drunk and she's just being like flirty, and she dances with one of Richard's friends, Stan, in a kind of flirty and seductive manner. And that's all that happens, and you can tell that Stan is definitely a creep and there's something wrong with him. So he takes that the wrong way. So the next morning he confronts her about it, and that's when the rape happens. And obviously he's telling her all these things like, you know, well, last night you were doing all of this, and what, now you don't like me or whatever. So I like how they kind of set that up. So I feel like we're definitely going to see some comments on this movie like, well, she asked for it because she was dancing flirtatiously with him or whatever. But I liked how they kind of set it up like it was clearly a mistake. And you can see it in her face too when she's being confronted by Stan. She's like, shit, I fucked up. And I don't know, I feel like I was just like wanting her to scream that at him, like, you know, I was drunk. It was I made a mistake. Humans make mistakes. And I'm not saying that it's her fault and that like I liked that. I'm saying that I liked how it was kind of more human, like she made a mistake. She didn't mean to do that and didn't realize that Stan was crazy and was gonna take it that far. So I don't know, I feel like it made it a more real situation, I guess. Not that stuff like The Last House on the Left can't ever happen, but you know what I mean? I don't know, I've talked a lot on this, so maybe I'll stop. I also really liked the performances, especially Matilda Lutz, who plays Jen. She doesn't talk a lot, even when she's with her boyfriend and his friends. It makes sense, like when, you know, they've killed her and she's like on the path to revenge, because it's just her, so she's, you know, not like she's talking to herself or anything. But even before that, she doesn't do a lot of talking, and even when she confronts Richard, she doesn't say anything, which I think is kind of great. And I think it, at least for me, it sent the message like, you don't need an explanation as to why she is doing what she's doing. And I feel like it's an interesting dynamic that the guys are the ones doing all the talking there, screaming at her, calling her all these names, and, you know, trying to, like, Richard, when she finally confronts him, just trying to like talk her down. As soon as they're outed for being these awful people, they're just talking and talking and talking and trying to, you know, either insult her or trying to talk her down. And she's just, she doesn't need this big long soliloquy or monologue to explain why she's doing what she's doing. She doesn't want to explain to them why she's doing what she's doing. It's understood. They did this fucked up thing to her, and now she's getting revenge. So I did really like that. I thought that was an interesting choice. I don't know if that's the reason for that choice, but it was interesting nonetheless. And of course, we got to talk about the gore. Obviously very satisfying when she starts to get her revenge. And even the her injuries and stuff. I feel like the gore was really good. Definitely some of it is a little bit hard to watch, particularly how Jen dies. That one's pretty gruesome. And the gore effects were done really well. I like that. Right now on to what I didn't like. Like I was talking about, I feel like that trailer with the, you know, asshole comments from men, I feel like that kind of set the tone for this movie. And even like articles I read about the movie and the trailers I saw before that trailer, I feel like it kind of, I don't know, maybe it was just something I picked up all on my own. I thought this was gonna be something different. I was expecting a different kind of rape revenge film, and I feel like when you get right down to it, it was just the same from all the other rape revenge movies I've ever seen. Aside from like the reason why she gets raped, like her like flirting with Stan or whatever, I feel like everything else was just, I've seen it before. Do you know what I mean? So, and that, like I said, that could just be all me, like maybe, you know, just watching the trailer, I kind of created this expectation for myself, but I felt that I was going to be seeing a rape revenge movie that I've never seen before, and I was really excited, like, ooh, this is gonna be something different, like and it just to me, it was just, I was kind of like, this is just this, like, I've seen this. I feel like I've seen this before already. I also feel like it dragged on for a while, like, and not dragged on in the sense that it was a slow burn. It was like huge spikes and like lots of action, gore, fighting, and then nothing. Lots of gore, action, fighting, nothing. It just, like, I don't know, I just feel like the stretches between, because there's 3 guys that she's going after, and I feel like the stretches between each person, it's just like longer and longer and longer and nothing happens. And at least for me, like, there was no like I would be okay if it like spiked up and then there was like a slow build up to the next high point, but to me it didn't feel like that. It just felt like, you know, like huge spikes and then nothing until the next action sequence. So I feel like some parts just dragged on way too long. A lot of parts for me, the pacing was just kind of like screwed up. In particular, one sequence that just really just like brought the movie to a grinding halt for me was the peyote scene, which if you know what I'm talking about, where she's in the cave. That, I feel, for me, that dragged on way too long. I was like into it up until then, and then it took way too long to get out of that fucking cave. And then even longer still to get to the next person that she was gonna kill. And like, just for me, the pacing was not working for me. I mean, I also feel like it was kind of hard to suspend my disbelief for some things. This is where I'll get into spoiler territory. So basically, what happens is Jen is pushed off a cliff and she's impaled by this tree branch, or, you know, like kind of burnt and broken tree. She's impaled. And she's literally just hanging there, like tree going right through her. And she's obviously like passed out for a little bit, not moving. That's why the guys think she's dead. They leave for a little bit to regroup, and they're gonna come back and get her body and dispose of it later. And she, I guess you could see it as like a rebirth or something, but she wakes up and just immediately goes for her lighter that she had when she fell and grabs some like moss and stuff and lights the tree on fire. So she can so I guess it like partly cauterizes her wound and allows her to break off, you know, because the tree like becomes brittle and she can break it. I was kind of just like, and you know nothing about her. You're literally just coming into this situation. You know, like almost nothing about these characters. It's hard for me to suspend my disbelief that she immediately sprung into action and knew how to do that. I would have no idea to do that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just extra stupid. Did everyone else, like, would you immediately think to do that? I would not. That one it was like everything else. I was kind of just like, okay, like she's fueled by like adrenaline and anger, and that's why she's, you know, she can shoot a gun and she can cauterize her wound herself, like, because she's got to do it. It's like a matter of, I have to do this. But that one was just hard for me to suspend my disbelief. I was just like, how did she know to do that? So was revenge worth it? For me, not really. I mean, more and more I'm just becoming an anti-fan of rape revenge movies. I feel like they're just all the same. So if somebody wants to show me one that's completely different, then fine. But I thought this one was gonna be completely different, and it ended up just being the same, at least for me, from all the other movies I've seen. So for me, it was not worth it because I feel like I'd seen it before. So I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. It did a few things right to earn those 2 stars, and everything else, it was just the same. And I don't know what else to say about it. I feel like everything has been said on rape revenge movies, so what else am I gonna say about this movie? Although the rest of the internet does not feel this way, because on IMDb it has a 6.4 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 91% critic score and a 61% audience score, and on Letterboxd it has a 3.5 out of 5. So I'm clearly the only one on the internet that feels this way. You can watch the movie on Amazon if you want. I'll leave an affiliate link to the movie in the description. There's no pressure to use that link, but if you do use it, it helps out the channel. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here and become a creepy peep today. I post videos Monday through Friday. I also can talk. And you can ring that bell also down there next to the subscribe button if you want to be notified every time I post a video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye.